Hi, friends. In our time together today, I want to answer a question I've been thinking about and some of you have asked me. And the question is, can I learn to play and enjoy playing and grow in my playing if I buy a cheap whistle? Let's say inexpensive. And you've heard me say that if you're going to learn to play, you should buy at least an intermediate grade whistle. I love my Howard Low D. I love my Wild Irish High D. But I walked down to the local music store, it's a guitar store, and I purchased a Clark Original High D. And the folks at Clark say that this one has some handwork in it, some machining. It's more of the original feel and sound. They say it's very chiffy. That means airy with a bit of an edge to it. I'm interested to see what that sounds like. But what I have wanted this as my first high D whistle. I'm going to buy a well-reviewed and inexpensive low D in the near future. And I bought this with my own money so that no one could say that I'm saying good or bad things because somebody paid me. So I'm really curious, and thank you for the question. So the Clark Original, if you read Clark's website, they talk about their three high D whistle types in the original. They say that it's not like the premium plastic topped whistles. This is all metal with a wooden block in it, and that it's formed, the airway and the fipple are not precise. The airway's a little more curved because of the dome top. The fipple's kind of just like a dimple in the metal. Let's open it up. So I'm pulling out the flap, pulling the whistle out. Here it is. It's in cardboard. There's some paper here. Let's see what the paper is. The paper is a fingering chart with a couple of really basic tunes on it. That's fun. Thank you, Clark, for doing that. I like when they include tunes. It's a good thing. Let's look at the whistle. So it's really light. Wood block there. Maybe you could see the curve of the airway. There is like an indentation where the fipple is. I think some of this is done by hand. Nice little lettering on the front. And now let's start checking it out. So we've got the Clark Original out of the box. I warmed it up a little, and I noticed a few things about it right away that we'll talk about. The first thing I want to do, though, is I want to play a scale and check the tuning of it. One thing to bear in mind, every instrument's a little different. Every whistle in particular is a little different. And so I have not yet adapted my playing to this whistle. It feels different. The air requirement's a little more. And so I'm not expecting absolute precise tuning because I've not played this really before. So a scale to check the tune. It's pretty close. It starts from the middle of the second register. It starts bouncing sharp to flat. Again, some of that might be me. My initial impression is that one of the reasons it uses so much air is it comes through the airway. I'm blowing through the airway. It's rounded. The air is supposed to be grabbed by the fipple. And the fipple's low enough that not as much air is being grabbed. When I'm playing, I can feel air passing over my fingers. I have never experienced that on either my Wild Irish or my Howard. And so, for me, that's a bit of a strike against this. Since I didn't pay but $20 for this, I could play with the fipple a little bit and see if moving it up minimally improves that airiness of it. But Clark says that the airiness of this whistle is one of the signatures of this Clark original, and so I shouldn't really mess with that. And I also don't know if I wouldn't ruin the whistle. So again, I'm not going to play with it. It sounds okay. It feels okay. It's a little too light for me. I'm not accustomed to the sharp angled wood block in there. I wouldn't say never buy this. Let me play Dawning of the Day. That seems to be my go-to. It's nice. It's a little harder work. The wood feels dry, but that's because it's brand new and I've never played it before. I'm going to have to play it more and I'll let you know if I get more reactions. My initial reaction is, that's a great, inexpensive whistle. However, it's hard work. It doesn't play with ease. I'm fine with the airiness of it. That's really good, but I'm trying to figure out how to get reasonable tone and tone quality and consistent volume of it. The upper octave seems to be played with ease, and I love that. However, the lower octaves, something I'm going to have to get used to. I don't see me ever telling you, if you want to start to play the whistle, go and buy a Clark original. I mean, nothing against it. I'm going to be glad to own it. I'm not going to throw it away. I'm not going to give it away. I'm going to keep it because I want to get better at it. But this would never compete with my Wild Irish that I got on sale, and you could get on sale from the great folks at McNeela Music. Again, no sponsoring going on here, and I paid under $100 for my my Wild Irish, and so really that $60 difference in what I paid after tax, probably $65, $70 difference. I would still say to you, go buy at least an intermediate whistle to learn, because if I started off on this Clark, I'd think it was me. And the whistle's a bit of a challenge to play. I want to learn it so that I can go to that, really old feel of a very airy bit of an edge whistle to it. So I'm going to want to learn this better, but it's never going to replace either of my other whistles that I love. So if you can only afford $20 plus tax, go buy a Clark. If you can afford, or you have time to save up for a better whistle, please do it. I mean, a Dixon's not that much more expensive, relatively speaking. It sits in between the Wild Irish and this Clark. I've never played a Dixon except like a couple of minutes in a store once. So it's nice. I'm going to play it, but I'm not going to play it that much. Now I want to figure out what some of those more inexpensive whistles with the plastic mouthpieces are like. I'm really curious about that. I might go buy a Generation or something like that. Let me know what you think. Do you own a Clark Original? Please comment or email me. Let me know what you think of the whistle. Would you play it over your more expensive whistle? Do you have another whistle you recommend I get? Do you have a low D, very inexpensive, that you recommend I try out for all of us? But again, if you want to start playing and you want to know if you should buy an inexpensive whistle or find a nicer whistle on sale, buy the nicer whistle on sale every day of the week. That's my take. Yours might be different, but I'm here to share recommendations with you. Until next time, my friends, this is Scott Shade. Happy whistling!